What is going on, everybody? Welcome back once again to the channel. So today I have a short drama to check out for you guys. This one here is titled Fauve. An innocent game goes wrong. Okay, this is an Oscar nominated short film. It is by Short of the Week. So as always, I post the link for the original video down below in the description area if you guys want to check it out on your own time. Otherwise, you can stick around and watch my reaction to this. So I have no idea what to expect in this one here. It reads here, two boys in a surface mind sink into a seemingly innocent power game with Mother Nature as the sole observer. So this one, it looks like it's gonna have just two boys by themselves, just kind of stranded in the middle of nowhere. Interesting. Let's go ahead and check this out. I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts, as always, after the film. Check the volume here. Huh.
Il est mort. D'accord, perdu, 2-2. D'avoir ramené. Hey, le gros, t'es ton fait fomenter. Oh, man, c'est quoi ça? Je sais pas, mais moi, je sais que c'est 3-2, hein. Ah ouais, descends, man, sinon je te tire des roches. Amène-les, des roches. Ok, on est quitte, man, je descends.
Oh, be careful. Jesus.
Tu t'es planté, man. Es-tu correct?
He fractured his leg.
Non. Ta gueule! Ça va, il n'a pas, man. Man, il y en avait! Oh non, t'aurais dû m'écouter! Ça fait chier. Hey, j'aurais une petite question pour toi. Ça se mange sûrement? Ah, c'est vrai, t'es grano un peu. Pourquoi? Ben, végétarien, là. De manière aussi, même pas en manger la journée pied. Ben, pourquoi tout le monde en mange, je vais voir. Si le monde souhaite de manger n'importe quoi. Ça va pas ce qu'il apprend tes parents. Ah, de toute façon, toi, tu serais même pas game de tuer un animal puis de le manger. Ah, mais je lâche avec mon père. Quand toi, tu le vois jamais ton père. Ben oui. En plus, là, l'autre jour, j'ai tué un écureuil avec mon bel emploi, frère. Ouais, pis tu l'as bouffé? Ouais, tu ça me tentait un peu. C'est ça, je te crois en os. Attends 2 secondes. Thanks. Attends mon bâton. Sec. Oh, thanks, man. Yo, man, viens voir ça. C'est mal. Check le tableau, comment c'est possible.
So now they're in the plant.
Yo! T'as-tu T'as-tu entendu, man? Ça a fait...
That's what I used to do, just throw rocks at things. Are they after the kids? Oh my god.
As-tu les as suivis, man? Je pense pas, j'entends rien. Ça, c'est avant toi, man. C'est 5-3. Il manquait un point, puis j'ai gagné. Hey, man, viens-tu à ça, c'est hot. Non, pas de ta belle avec ça. Fuck, man, t'es dégueulasse. Fuck.
Oh!
Fuck, c'est quoi ça? Man, je suis prêt. C'est ça, si je te parle pas pour te rapprocher. Non, c'est pas une joke, je suis vraiment prêt, viens m'aider.
Boy cried wolf. Not gonna believe him anymore.
Victory, victory, man. C'est 3-3, pas d'avance. Oh yeah.
Oh wow, he actually got out.
Okay, je m'en vais.
Oh my god, these kids.
C'est qui qui gagne, là? C'est qui qui gagne? C'est dégueulasse, c'est quoi ça?
Oh my god, these kids.
Man! Moi, je pognais la meilleure, tout était sur le pont! Elle a d'un kid d'un corps de sang, man. T'es encore sur un camp?
Oh my god, it's opening beneath him.
Non, mais viens voir moi, là. Un pont, man, c'est pogné! Attends, là, je m'en viens.
Oh my god. Stop moving, kid.
Je peux pas le pogner, j'ai les mains pognées!
Oh my god. The flies around him and everything.
Faites quoi? Aide-moi de poche! Je m'en fais quoi? Ma force! Grogne!
Oh my god, this is giving me so much anxiety.
De poche! Va me chercher de l'eau! Papa! Non, papa, t'es là! Aide-moi!
Kids, where are your parents? Kid is running. taking too long, kid. Oh my god, he's gone. Jesus, man. Kid. Dude. And look at the fly going around him. Where's he going? Where is he walking towards? Oh my god. Man.
Es-tu correct? As-tu besoin d'aide? Tu peux embarquer si tu veux, hein? Je peux t'amener où tu veux. Bon, envoie, embarque, je te ramène. Viens. Comment tu t'appelles? T'habites où? Israéli. Stratford? Ok, ben mets ta ceinture, mon chou.
What do you even say after that, man? How do you think? You just witnessed your friend die as a kid. Slowly too. It's
Tu savais que t'allais pas dans le bon sens?
no, you weren't.
Bien sûr que t'étais aussi loin, là, tout seul. T'es perdu? C'est qui ton père, toi?
Yeah, that's what I would ask. Like, where are your parents?
de secourir.
Did he? Oh my god, the fox was behind him. He wasn't lying to him. Oh, Jesus. This is so sad, man. All right, y'all. There you have it. That was Fauve. So, I mean, this one was tough to watch. I gotta say, this one here was such a sad story at the end. Just, we can see in the title that this was an innocent game that started off innocent and playful and turned into something dark and horrible. Very tragic, you know? And we can all see what happened. But I wanted to point out a few things here. So, when they showed these two kids in the beginning, just playing this game of whoever gives in first loses, and the one who didn't give in wins, right? So they're just kind of playing with each other in this an abandoned train in the beginning, just kind of wandering around the place, around like the woods, and they start playing off in this train. In the beginning, we can see that the kid in the orange shirt is first stuck inside the train in one of the train rooms. And I know the other kid's name is Tyler, the one with the gray sweatpants, the shirtless kid. I didn't catch the other kid's name, so I'm just going to call him the orange shirt kid, right? And the one that's named Tyler, he comes into the train, he hears his friend calling, and he eventually opens the door. But before he does that, you can hear the kid in the orange shirt saying, I'm stuck, right? Come open the door, and of course, cursing and all of that. And at that point, we can see that the kid in the gray sweats, Tyler, he won the game. So they proceed by, what is it called? Like throwing rocks at each other, or at least the boy, Tyler, throws rocks at the kid in the orange when he climbs up on the train, and then eventually says, okay, like, I give in, you won. So they're just kind of like giving each other points on on like dares, I guess, or I don't know. And they're just kind of pranking each other at the same time. And there's a point where the boy in the orange shirt tells Tyler that there's a fox behind him, but of course he won't believe him. This is kind of like the boy who cried wolf, right? Where you say so many lies that at some point, even if you're trying to be honest, people no longer believe you. So right here at this point is where the kid was like, you're lying, there's nothing behind me, stop messing with me, right? So he says, no, there's really something there. But he doesn't believe him. So things just kind of continue on after that. But we do come back to that at the end, right? So we can see that they move on from there, and they just kind of walk in this really tall grass area. They're making their way to this, I guess it's like an abandoned, what is it, an abandoned plant. I don't know if it's active, but it looks abandoned. I'm pretty sure it's still active. So they sneak into this plant through this hole in the fence, and then they're just kind of in the plant now, messing with the machinery that's there, just kind of throwing rocks at things. And eventually they hear that there's this truck coming towards them, this company truck coming towards the two kids, and of course they freak out and run away. I remember this point in my life where I was a young kid and this company truck was also coming, and my brother and I and my cousin were just in this like warehouse, and we were messing with stuff that they had in there, like tools. We were making stuff out of mud and water, just being just boys. And of course my parents were they were home at the time. We were out there just kind of out and about, and then sometimes we would come home like wet with rain and full of mud. There's even one time where my cousin got bit by a dog right in the butt. It was hilarious, but of course he had to get his shot, and after that it was we were kind of wild sometimes, but a lot of the things that we did, I got to be honest, they were kind of influenced by my cousin. He was a huge troublemaker, and my brother and I kind of followed him, to that path. Thankfully, not fully, but to an extent we did. Well, there was this point where a truck was coming and we ran away. We hid from this guy that came, and he stopped towards at the warehouse where we were at. We were just hiding there. And I remember my cousin and my brother, they like scrammed out somewhere. I don't even know where they hid. And the guy eventually, I heard him come into the warehouse and I was freaking out. Like my heart was just throbbing, And at some point, I just heard silence. And so because I didn't hear anything, I decided to come out of the hiding spot where I was within the warehouse. And as soon as I came out, there's this big dude just standing there looking down on me and, with like a big beard and everything. And I got so scared, my heart dropped, and I just stared at him like just speechless. And I didn't know what to say, so eventually I just kind of ran off as like he was just there looking at me. So the only thing I can think of is to run away. And as soon as I got out of that warehouse, I ran so fast, like my life depended on it. Like if this guy was trying to kill me or he was after me, I'm sure he was just trying to, give me a bit of a scare. And then I'm sure he saw all three of us there, before he got there. But we as kids, we thought we were clever and they couldn't see us. But, eventually when this guy saw me, I just got super scared and then I ran away. So at that scene, I definitely was like, oh my God, I've done this before. It just brought back a memory. So anyway, these boys eventually make their way down this like cement area where there's just like a big, like, what is it called? Like a canal or something of just semi-dry cement, and the rest of it around it is completely dry where it looks like just mountains. And they run down there thinking that they escaped this big truck that was after them, which clearly wasn't. I don't even think they saw the kids, but they make their way there. And so this is when things get really, really dark, literally. And I'll explain why the literally part. So Tyler, he kind of runs into like the edge of this still fresh pile of cement that's there, and he gets kind of stuck. And so he's telling the boy in the orange shirt that he's stuck as well, but of course the boy in the orange shirt doesn't believe him either. He's like, oh, you're just trying to get me to go in there and save you. So he is struggling to get out, and this is where I was very, very worried. And I was like, man, I hope nothing happens to this boy. So eventually he does, thankfully, make his way out of this pit of fresh cement. And when he makes his way out, the other boy in the orange shirt approaches him because Tyler tries to trick him with something. And as soon as the boy in the orange shirt falls for it, his buddy, right, he pulls him in and throws him into this same pit of fresh cement. And so at this point, this Tyler kid, he's laughing at him as he's struggling to make his way out of there now. And he gets even more stuck than Tyler did. And he's telling him, I can't get out, I'm stuck. Notice this part right here. As the boy in the orange shirt is struggling to make his way out, you can see that he's like from waist down, stuck from his legs up to his waist, stuck in the mud pit there, in the cement pit. So you can see that as he's struggling to make his way out, the sun is also going down, right? So there's a big shadow that just kind of starts to grow around him, and that there was scary. And now the kid Tyler, he's starting to freak out because his buddy is sinking lower and lower, due to his movement. He's trying to get out, but this is like quicksand. As the more you move, the more you sink. So he is clearly sinking lower and lower, and he starts to panic, and he tells Tyler to do something to get help. So Tyler, of course, tries to reach out for him. He even like tries to do it with like a stick, but the stick is too short. He throws in the stick, and the stick sinks as well in the cement pit. And so now he panics. They're both panicking. So now Tyler runs back up the hill of dry cement, and he makes his way to the company truck, to where now, as soon as he gets there, there's no one in that truck anymore. Looks like the guy that was driving it just probably, got there, left it, and, parked it and left the plant. So as soon as the kid gets there, he's yelling into the truck. You can see from the perspective of the inside of the truck, you can see he's yelling into what he thinks is there's a person driving that truck. But clearly there's no one there. And so the kid just kind of runs around the area trying to find something or someone to help him out. And unfortunately, there is nobody there. So because this doesn't work out, he runs back to check on the boy in the orange shirt. And at this point, he was now gone. He completely sank into the cement pit. And at that point, I just couldn't believe. I couldn't believe that this was happening, man. This got so tragic, you know. And I just like, you can see that the kid Tyler is just, he's stunned. He is like shocked by the fact that he can't see his friend anymore. He's no longer there. He clearly sank into this pit, and there's nothing he can do. There was nobody there that can help him, and there's no adult, there's no machine, nobody there. So Tyler, he then starts to wander around the cement area, like all of these, you know, hills of dry cement, eventually just making his way out into the road. He has this kind of like long, lonely journey to the open road. And now he's just walking hopelessly, you know, with his head slouched, of course, grieving about his friend's death, his friend's tragic death. And then we see that this woman pulls up alongside him, asking him if he needs some help, if he's lost. And so after a couple of, minutes of her insisting that he gets in the car so that she can drive him home, she eventually succeeds in that and he gets in. And so during the car ride, she's asking him questions like, where are you from? Where do you live? And clearly Tyler is completely traumatized that he can't even speak about anything. You know, I mean, if I were to witness something like that, I would also just be in shock. I would be just in disbelief, just not knowing how to even start talking about what just happened. Eventually the lady stops the car, you know, comes to a sudden halt, and she gets off the car and sees what crossed the road that got in her way. So eventually Tyler also looks out the window as the car is stopped, and he notices something, right? We can see that there's a sudden change of expression in his face. And when the camera points to what he's looking at, we can see that it is the fox. And this is the fox that the boy in the orange shirt was clearly trying to point out earlier, you know, moments before his death, that he was trying to convince Tyler that there was a fox behind him, and he didn't believe him. So the expression in Tyler's face is just everything we need to know about what he's thinking at the moment, you know. And I was just also in silence, just thinking about that scene where the kid in the orange shirt is the boy, his friend in the orange shirt, is trying to tell him that there's a fox there, and he didn't believe him. So at that scene, you know, I what I got from it is that Tyler is now wishing that he could have believed his friend in that moment, and maybe things would have gone another route if he would have believed him. Maybe they would have gotten scared and they would have ran away from there, and they wouldn't have made their way to the plant, and this tragedy wouldn't have happened. This is kind of like me just adding to what maybe Tyler was thinking, but of course I can definitely be sure that Tyler was thinking he should have believed his friend when he was calling for help, and he shouldn't have thrown him into that pit of cement. Now, the last thing I wanted to point out that I noticed in this story is that, first of all, the boy in the orange shirt was the first one to be stuck. We can see in the opening scene as he's banging the door in the abandoned train. And secondly, he was wearing an orange shirt, which matches the color of the fox. Okay? And this is like, I don't know if they did this intentionally, but this made a huge connection to the call out of the fox. And then finally, the fox scene at the end. Now, what I thought there, which is the third part I was thinking here, that caught my eye, is that maybe this was kind of a form of the kid and his friend, and the scene of the fox running away or going off into nature was also his friend, Tyler's friend, the boy in the orange shirt, telling him that he was okay and that he was free. You know, this is the message that I got at the end. And man, I can't believe that this tragedies like these happen to a lot of children, you know, that just go off wandering into unexplored areas, into places that they don't understand, that there might be a really hazardous area there that they're stepping into and they have no clue. So I was just so nervous and stiff during this whole part with the whole cement sequence of them being stuck there. And I'm just like heartbroken that this ended up in such a tragedy. You guys, this was a great story, such a sad story, but I really did enjoy it, and I hope that there's parents out there that are a little bit more responsible with their children, especially when they become adolescents or young boys and young girls, that they are watching over them or constantly at least on them to a point where they know where they are, because man, situations like these can happen and you just never know. I myself experienced it to an extent when I was a little boy too, so I know what that's like. But thinking back, I wish my parents were a little bit more on me and just told me that to stay away from certain areas, because there was some points where we also got into some trouble, but maybe those are stories for another day for now. Anyways, you guys, thank you so much for watching this with me. I really also am thankful for the recommendation for this film. I very much enjoyed it. This was worth the watch. Thank you so much, you guys, one more time, and I appreciate it. I will see you all on the next reaction. Take care of yourselves. Peace.